we've been really good on kickoff return. This is for 4 years in a row. We've led the Ivy League, been top 20 in the country from a kickoff return average standpoint. But this has been an evolution. So it hasn't been, had all the answers rolling in year one. Some things have changed. I've learned a lot as far as incorporating this. But I think what we have here is, a great solution to a lot of the issues that you're going to see from kickoff teams to be able to execute at a high level consistently. We've had, we led the Ivy League one year, and we didn't have more than a 50-yard return. But what we did was we consistently were gashing people for 30, 35 yards throughout the course of the year on returns, and, which led to a great average. So, I'll kind of talk through that. One of the things that I noticed, when coming up with this return is that when we started to get good at kickoff return, teams started to, kick away from us, change the way that they were trying to get us the football. So with that said, part of the solution is the fact that, sorry, I'm messing with your screens here, but, part of this return was built off of that. We were good. We were gashing people. And then all of a sudden people just started kicking to the other side of the field. And I wanted to come up with a solution for that. But one of my things and one of my philosophies when it comes to special teams in general is I don't want to do a bunch of stuff. I just don't. Guys are focused on offense. They're focused on defense. They're focused on all the different things we're doing in those units that I don't want to overcomplicate what they have to think about from a game plan perspective going into the week. What I decided to do was simplify it down to the fact that we only do one return. So we've done one return for 4 years. Okay. We do it right. We do it left. All right. We don't have a counter or anything like that. And what I felt that was that we could get good at this one return and all the different looks that we were going to get throughout the course of the year. Now we were going to practice the kickoff team. We were going to practice what we were seeing from them. Okay. So to do one return, okay, let me get to here. To do one return, I realized that we had to be symmetrical, all right, from a formational standpoint. So what we did to create the symmetry was have a 5-man front line, all right. So when I say 5-man is we'll take the center and we have them off the ball. Now this isn't a great look. This was week 1 of the season, and we're always going to adjust our alignments. We'll go in with base alignments. I can get those to you in a draw up, but I'll talk through them right here. The guards, all right, they're going to bracket the 5s, all right, and they're going to have their front foot 11 yards from the football. Our tackles are going to be as wide as the widest, but no wider than the bottom of the numbers. All right, what happens is, as you see here, we have a big space between the guard and tackle. I don't like that look. Everything for me comes down to spacing, not giving up any trickery from a kickoff perspective. All right, which is why I also have the center kind of off the ball, creating this triangle, all right, to protect against the middle dribble. But I also don't want a big void here to invite any dribbler over here as well. Okay, so 11 yards from the football with their front foot, their back foot 15 yards, no wider than as wide as the widest, no wider than the numbers. Okay. So that's your tackles, your guards, and your center. All right, we also roll with adjusters. All right, the adjuster's job is to also create another triangle here, okay, and fill the void between the guards and the tackles. All right, and again, create good field spacing here. Now, where do I put the adjusters? I put the adjusters at the depth at which I expect the kickoff team to be when the ball is being caught on a typical deep kick. All right, so how do I figure out what's a typical deep kick? Oh, I break down the kickoff team. I'm watching their film. All right, I see, all right, I press pause every single time when the return guy catches the ball, I hit pause, and I see where is the kickoff team. All right, that tells me everything I need to know about how fast the kickoff team is down the field, but it also tells me how deep they're getting into our end of the field when the ball's typically being caught. All right. But it also gives me a feel for hang time, right? How much hang time is this guy getting on his ball, right? But I'm also charting where on the field as far as right hash, left hash, middle of the field, out by the numbers. I'm charting where they're typically trying to put the ball. All right. So Wagner here, okay, and I remember this game plan. They would put the ball on the right hash or the left hash, but every time that they would put it towards a hash, that's the direction they were going to try to put the football. All right. So we knew, all right, going into this game plan, all right, that if they teed it up over here, all right, we were going to run what we call power left. All right. So our return is power. All right. And I'll just go through the assignments a little bit once I get through who these positions are. So I put these guys on the 35-yard line because I didn't want them dropping. Typically, I put them about the 30-yard line because that's where guys are at, 30 to 25, all right? And that's where I want them setting up their blocks on power. So I'll get to what we're doing from a schematic standpoint in a minute. But I don't want these guys to have to drop, all right, once the ball's kicked. I just want them to move left and right, lateral, all right, according to the relationship of the ball where it's being kicked. All right. Now on the back end, all right, this is the guy I want to field the football, the deep returner, obviously. Okay. But my off returners, all right, I look at them, another triangle as you see, I look at them as my right fielder, my left fielder, my center fielder. All right. If you play baseball, all right, this guy has the rights to the ball. Okay. He's running over here. He has rights. If he can't catch it, then my off returner is fielding the football. We're still running the return. All right. So I wanted not just to have one returner. I wanted to have, or two returners. I wanted to have three returners. Okay. So any one of these three guys can field the football and return the football for us. And my thought process was if this guy's really good and we're really good, that they're not going to kick it to him or they're going to pooch one out here by the numbers. Well, we're not just going to surrender that. All right. We're still going to try to execute our return. All right. So our fullback here, now this is the guy who never touches the ball. All right. And when you look at personnel, all right, this was our 3 technique. He was 6'3", 275, 280 pounds. Okay. But he could run. He was athletic. He was once a D end. All right. And he loved to smash people. All right. He loved to hit people. He's also in our shield on punt. Okay. So, just loved the kid and wanted to get him on the unit. But his rule was exclusively, you don't touch any football. All right. It comes dribbling up the field. All right. We've had squibs, which we'll get to the squib. All right. These guys are converging on the squib. He just goes and blocks his assignment. All right, he never touches the ball. All right. We all good there? All right. And again, these are your right and left fielders. If he can't field the football, it's a you. All right. He fields it and then he becomes the off returner. So what is our return? Our return, like I said, is power. Okay. So it's power right or power left. In this picture, it's going to be power left, but it doesn't matter. It's the same return. All right. Both ways. But here's what you have. Okay. My adjusters, okay, is what I call these guys on the 30 to 35 yard line. They are setting up on the fours. Okay. Well, we count our count system. All right. Is 4 is here. All right. We count left. So this is the L4. And then we count from the right. Okay. R4. Both adjusters are setting up on the 4. Okay. And and that's where our double teams are happening. We're doubling both the 4s on both sides, on both returns. Okay. So we're blocking the 4. All right. The guard is going to give return side leverage on the 4, the L4. Okay. He comes over, he's blocking the other 4. This guard is given return side leverage on this 4. You have the 5 screaming down the field, down the middle. Our center is dropping between the 5s and blocking back on the 5 opposite the return. So we're going left here. So he's blocking the R5. Our tackles are getting depth behind the double teams. Okay. So they're dropping behind the double teams between the 5 and the 3. We're eliminating the 4. So they're dropping between the 5 and the 3. Okay? And if you're front side of the return, you're pinning the 5, ambushing the 5. So that's the L5. If you're back side of the return, you're hinging on the 3. Okay? So now we have 1, 2, and 3 running free on the front side of the return, unaccounted for. Okay? We have the 4 eliminated. We have the 5, what we call ambushing. Okay? So we ambush the 5, pin the 5. We're wheeling back on the backside 5 with the center. We block the backside 4 and the backside 3. Okay? So that's how we do it. The guards have to get return side leverage on the double team with the adjuster. All right, from a personnel standpoint, all right, looking at who these people are. I talked to you about him being a 3 technique. These guys are off returners. They are running backs for us. They're guys I feel comfortable catching the ball, running the ball. Okay, they can also be a wide receiver or anyone that is physical enough, all right, to block, but also athletic enough to handle the football and run the return if they have the return, right? If the ball's coming to them on a U call. Okay? This is the guy, like I said, we want to field the ball. All right? These guys are big linebackers, tight end type bodies. Okay? The adjusters. All right? Your mics, your tight ends. Okay? They are being stiff on the double team. I mean, physical as shit, right? Gonna hit that double team. We want to go 3/4 of the man with return side leverage, squared up on that guy as much as possible. You're gonna get help from the guard again, who is like an outside linebacker, safety, athletic guy who can turn and run. Okay, same thing with this guy. He's like an extra guard. And then these are like they have to be the fastest, most athletic guys. They have to cover the most ground. So safeties, corners, wide receivers as well. All right, physical guys that you can trust on the unit. Okay, so on the back end, like I said, you have 1, 2, and 3 running down free. We are coming together. Not, you have to stay within the rules, okay? So you're not coming together as a true double team. Your job is to relate with the returner, relate with the ball, okay? So this guy's sole job is to figure out and get a feel for what 10 to 12 yards is from the returner, all right? So we're going to go 10 to 12 yards, all right, from the returner to set what I call the perfect relationship, all right? So we're going to set that relationship with the returner. The off returner is going to run over. He's going to split the difference between the returner and the off returner and the fullback. Okay, at 10 to 12 yards, he's like at 5 yards, but he's coming over to secure the catch, making sure we field the football, and he's going to give the go call. Go, go, go. These guys on the back end are all going to hit it on the go call. All right, now, like I said, 1, 2, and 3 are all running down together. All right, or presenting themselves down the field. We are going to kick out 2, and we're going to pin 3. Most guys say, let's go kick out. That's not my thought process, okay? That does happen at times, but my thought is 3, because I coach kickoff too, all right? 3 is typically a guy who can spill to the football or can get aggressive to the football, so he takes the inside path, where 2 is typically your contained guy. Okay, as he presents himself down the field. So my thought is, if 3 wants to spill, let's pin him. If 2 wants to contain, let's kick his ass out. And let's make that be the gap. Plus, I'm going to take it 1 gap further, okay, from everybody else on the unit who's going to be pursuing from the field. All right, rather than trying to get up inside and then get back out. Does that make sense? So, so that's what we're going to look to do. And then the off returner, if he can run up through and split 2 and 3 and lead up on 1, great. That's what he's going to try to do. He's running the return. All right, so let's just watch this one here. I got a few queued up. So the coaching points, all right, a couple of the coaching points is see the ball kicked up front, I mean, we're not leaving early, cannot leave early. Got to take care of all the BS that you're going to possibly see. Seeing the ball kicked, all right. But when we see the ball kicked, all right, our eyes are getting to the returner. So I want to see all hats, eyes to the returner. All right. So if you look, all right, we got most of the guys doing it, but not all the guys. All right. So that would be the one thing that I'm always stressing. All right. You see the whole front line, eyes to the returner. What's that going to do? Okay. That's going to tell you, all right, where on the field this ball is being kicked. I used to be a big track the ball off the foot, see the flight of the ball. I used to be that guy. I don't do that anymore. Our defense coordinator was he was a special teams coordinator in the NFL for several years. And he's like, get your eyes to the returner. The returner's going to the ball. All right. So let's get our eyes to him. That's who's going to help us build our relationship. So we want to have a relationship with each other, but we also want to have a relationship with where on the field is the ball being kicked. All right. I can chart all day long, which I do. I chart all of them. But in the moment, all right, the ball is being kicked and we need to build a relationship perfect to the returner. So then as the guys come down the field, we have great leverage with them. All right. And we have great relationships with each other. One thing that we do is we don't practice kickoff return. Okay. We don't practice it other than going all 11 guys at one time. We don't do it another way. We don't go, all right, let's break this up over here. Let's break this up over there. No, because my thing is there's one ball. It's going to one location. We need all 11 guys building the relationship with where that ball is being put at that moment. Okay. That's width on the field. Is it kicked out by the numbers, kicked in the middle, kicked on the hash? What's the depth of that kick? All right. Is it short kick? Is it a deep kick? All right. These are all the things that are coming up, but we need to be able to build the perfect relationships to be able to run our play. All right. Which is power. All right. So I need all eyes to the returner. Again, my thought process for these for the adjusters that are on the 35-yard line coming over, all right, is they don't need to be dropping. Why don't they need to be dropping? They don't need to be dropping because if I charted things properly, all right, I'm putting their alignment to start the week at where I want them to set their blocks up. All right. And the reason I want them to set their blocks up, again, where did I say I'm pressing pause? I'm pressing pause when the returner's catching the ball on film. So I press pause and I look, where's the kickoff team? So I'm setting them up there because my thought process there is that's when the kickoff guy has to make a decision to avoid right or avoid left. Okay. Because he's 25 yards from the ball still. All right. So he's not being told to do anything but try to avoid at that point. Okay. Most kickoff teams are telling him that. So I want that adjuster to set up right where he's going to be caught between having to avoid right or avoid left, but he's not going to know which way to avoid. And that's when we're hitting the go call on the returner, when we're fielding the football. Okay. So that's where I want to put him in a bad situation at the number 4. Okay. And we're putting him there with a guy who's got a little ass to him that he can take that guy on head on thick. And if he's looking to avoid right or avoid left, we're going to hit him right in the face. All right. And then he's going to have the guard come in for support. So now we're going to smack that guy. And then we got a guy coming in to block him. All right. And that's where we're going to set a nice separation between the front end and the back end. All right. Because if that guy gets dropping too deep, all right, if he gets dropping too deep, all it's going to do is cloud the picture up for these guys to make good decisions on the back end if that's too deep, that double team. Okay. So you see the 4 is setting up. All right. Let's just look at the return side for adjuster and guard. So he's squaring them up. Who is 4? 4 is whoever the adjuster is squaring up. Okay. I don't tell the guard, oh, count right to left. No, I don't want them thinking that. I want them thinking eyes to the returner, return side leverage. Whoever the adjuster squares up is who 4 is, and I'm going to give him support on the return side. So if you look here, 4 actually loops out to be 1 into the boundary. So what does the adjuster do? The adjuster plays the new 4. So we have a rule. All right. The rule is that whenever 2 guys are running down the field stacked on top of each other, which you see a lot of this is one of the things you're going to get. You're going to get twisters. You're going to get divers. You're going to get all that BS that kickoff teams are going to try to do. Okay, fine. Do it. Our rule is the fastest guy down the field, I'm telling the adjuster, the fastest guy down the field, that's number 4. So as you see here, who's 4, who's 3? Well, who's first down the field? That's who 4 is. So take him. So he takes that guy, and then the guard doesn't need to worry about who was the original 4. It doesn't matter. He got to come in and give return side support on that double team. So that's what you got there. Okay. On the backside, here's where things got a little dicey. All right. This 5 never squeezes. He runs straight down the field. Okay. So our center gets his eyes to the returner, but he turns around and sees this guy. So what does he start thinking? He starts thinking that that's my 5. All right, which is fine, but block him. Get on him there, okay? Our guard on the backside here, as our adjuster comes over to square up 4, okay, he squares him up. Our guard gets kind of caught up on the backside 5 here, which is going to happen. But this is one of the main reasons. One of the main reasons I don't like doing kickoff return other than doing it as a full unit, because you could run the same scout team down and draw 1 card. You run them down 5 times, you're going to have 5 different looks. Okay? Especially if you're going full speed. So what I want and what's most important to us is for us to build a relationship with the ball at the right depth, with a great relationship with each other, and then that's going to increase our likelihood that we're going to block the proper guys. Okay? And we're not going to be worried about who's supposed to block who. All right? Your eyes get to the right place and they get back and you're picking up the right guy. If this was going to be perfect, we got a double team there. If our center does a good job, he goes high here, okay? And this guy avoids. Just watch this whole deal. So that guy avoids. So that guy on the kickoff team does a good job. All right? We got 2 free hats here to block 1 guy. This guy beats both of us, okay? But if we're doing a good job, the center should stay low. The ambush guy plays high as the front side tackle. All right, and we should actually get another double team right here, potentially, out of these 2 on this 1 guy. All right, but he beats both of us because our center decides he wants to fly high. So that's the coaching point for me for the center. The center, I'm telling you, stay low. Stay low. Don't get too deep. Protect return side. If he wants to fly high, okay, if that guy wants to do a flyby with speed, you got him. He's done. He's not going to make the play, okay? So stay low. Don't let the guy fight back to the return side, okay? So that's my coaching point to the center here, all right? The adjuster on the backside, great job squaring this guy up. The tackle, great job. He's splitting 5 and 3 on the backside. And then what is he doing? He's hinging back on 3. Awesome. All right? Our guard gets caught up on the front, on the 5, all right? But he's letting that guy go, and he's going to work back and try to execute this double team still. And my coaching point to the guard as well is to stay low, because what we progress to and what we'll get to here on another clip is he's my low wall player here. He's squaring, he's low wall, he's high wall. So we are high wall, low wall, squared up. So if you get any folder on the backside screaming across the field, the guard can come off and pick that guy up. And then the tackle continues around and works a double team with the backside adjuster. Okay, so now you're comboing up. I mean, it's just like power on offense, where you got a guy climbing up to cut off the backside linebacker who's trying to scream over the top, okay? And you're working to cut off the backside, okay? And that's what you end up getting to, all right? And we get good at that. How do we get good at that? Well, we get good at it because we only run 1 return, okay? So we're able to do that, Now, our let's look at the back end here, because this is where things really come together for you, or they fall apart. Okay, is the back end 10 to 12 yards. All right, the one guy who's really screwed up here is our off returner. All right, if you watch him, he's hitting the panic button. All right, he's running over here when really he should be building a relationship with the returner. He never gets his eyes there. So he's running over, and the fullback, our defensive tackle, is doing an awesome job. He's getting his eyes to the returner. He's looking to set a relationship. He's actually getting the off returner in position. He's like, what are you doing? Get your ass over here. All right. And let's get ready for the go call. But again, it goes back to practice, because this is another reason I don't only like to go full unit, because I can take the jugs and I could spray the ball anywhere on the field. Okay. And I could hit it over here, hit it over there. I want to see all 11. I want to see 10 hats, eyes to the football, build a relationship. We start out day one when we go kickoff return, installed on air. All right. When you run an offensive play for the offensive coaches, I'm a defensive coach, but I watch offenses. All right. And they run it on air. They're doing things on air to start. Everything's on air. All right. Why? Because they want to build the proper relationships. They want to build the timing. Everything's about timing to have a great offensive play. So I look at this as like, this is an offensive play. So I want to have great timing. So we go no coverage unit. Okay. And then what we do, we'll go full unit. We'll jog down half speed. All right. On a scout team, jog down, and then we'll progress the speed, trying to get up the game speed. The first and foremost thing is we have to build a relationship with the returner and with each other. And that relationship is all dictated on where the ball is being kicked. Okay. So it starts there, it ends there. Okay. Because we have to be in great relationship when the ball's caught and we can go. All right. So our off returner is not doing a great job here, but our fullback is. He's creating a perfect relationship, and it's a go, go, go. All right. And now we're going. Okay. Now this on the back end, the job is, all right. And these guys are doing a pretty good job, other than the two right here that we pointed out that kind of muck the waters up. But where this wall is being set, when the ball's being caught and we're going, blocks are being executed. So that's a good sign for me. That means we got a good chance. Okay. And there's a clear separation between the front end and the back end. So having that clear separation is going to be critical. Who's it critical for? It's critical for the back end. Okay. Because when they whip their eyes around and they go, all right, they don't need people right on their toes. All right. If they have people on their toes, the waters are so muddy that they can't see what the hell's going on, and they block the wrong guy. Okay. So we need a clear separation between the front end and the back end here. All right. So on a go call, we can attack downhill full speed. All right. So 10 to 12 yards for the guys that coach kickoff here. Okay. As well. All right. We have zones in the kickoff team. All right. We have the avoid zone, right? That's anytime you're outside of 10 to 12 yards. You have the recognition zone, or whatever you guys want to call it. Okay. But when you get to 10 to 12 yards from the football, that zone we call that the hard hat zone. Okay. Where blocks have to be addressed. You can't just go avoiding. All right. Because now you're going to create huge running lanes if you avoid. But that's where, for me, that's the best part of this whole deal, because I have a 280 pounder that is running full speed at your safety. Okay. Who's running down the field, or your linebacker. And if you want to take that block head on, awesome. He's going to knock him out, which so that's why we do it. So I tell the fullback, you run downhill at the outside number of number 3. Okay. And I say, as they present themselves, again, because as they present themselves, that's key to this, because it doesn't matter who is 1, 2, and 3 to start this deal. It's as they present themselves down the field, post kick and everything. All right. So as I see this, 4 is actually becoming 1, the initial 4. Okay. 2 is actually 3, and 1 is actually 2. So it's as they present themselves. So again, doing this as a full unit, all right, is where it matters to do it all together so that you can coach everyone saying, and you can draw as many different types of cards and variations of kickoff as you want. But your guys are going to learn how to recognize it and then attack the proper guy. So as I see here, the fullback doesn't care who 1, 2, and 3 is. He gets his eyes around and he's looking off the double team downhill. First color that shows, he's eyeballing that. He's saying, that's 3. Let's go. And he's going to get him. And his thought is, I'm going to run through this thing. So we have a term we say called run through the smoke. Run through the smoke. So my off returner and my fullback, I want you to run at those guys full speed. And if they avoid you, then and do a matador, you're the bull. Just run through. If you end up on your face, you end up on your face. But I want to try to knock that guy out of the bar. Okay? And if they don't avoid, well, then you're going to smack them and widen the running lane. So that's great. All right. So when I look at this picture, the fullback is saying, I'm coming for him, right? He's giving it everything he's got to knock this guy out. And he's running through. We don't want to stop our feet. Don't want to stop our feet. All he gets is a forearm shiver on that guy, and he flattens him. Bang. All right. But he also takes out the guy we miss with the front line accidentally. So he saves the return. The off returner who needs help getting in location, okay, ends up kicking out number 2. All right. The problem with him is he's stopping his feet. But you see here, number 3 tries to avoid. That's the problem with avoiding. If that guy wants to avoid, I have a 10 to 12 yard, and my returner's running through the smoke off the fullback's hip. So the job of the returner is hit that thing full speed. Don't chop your feet, okay? If that number 3 or number 2 avoid their guys and try to loop back around, we're blowing through that running lane so fast that they can't recover. They can't avoid and recover at the same time. All right, we're hitting that seam. So that's why the 10 to 12 yard is so important. It's the non-recovery zone if you try to avoid on the kickoff team, okay? And so now there we are. We're up on the off returner who originally was number 4, and it's our return guy versus the kicker. It's what we want, right? Which, we only get to the 48, but it could have been big. Could have been real big. Okay. Let's go Dartmouth here. All right, so Dartmouth does this fancy kickoff team here. All right, so where they got guys wide all over the place. All right, so this is where you have your day one install alignments, right? But this is where week to week alignments are all about creating a great relationship with each other, creating a great relationship with where the ball is going to be kicked. Okay, so as I look at this, all right, they're a huddle team. We're all in. All right, how we talk through the huddle is, we want to have eyes on the ball, no trickery. All right, everything's about trickery for us. All right, to start. So the Wagner game and the Dartmouth game. All right, so I go through and I'm charting all these things, and I'm like, all right, they kick it to the right, they kick it to the left. I'm trying to get a feel for how when they decide and how they decide they're kicking the ball right and kicking it left. If I can't decide and it's something that the players have to see or cue into out on the field, I call my call. Power right, or power, my call. All right. So they get out on the field. So Wagner game, the clip we just saw, it could have been teed up on the other hash. I didn't know. So they went out on the field and they just see where the tee's at, and they decided the game plan was power left. So we just go lake, or communicate some L term so you guys all know that you're going to run power left. All right. So same thing with Dartmouth. In this game, we knew we wanted to go left with this look. Okay. So everybody on the unit is communicating with each other, lake, or whatever the term we wanted to use. Okay. But from an alignment standpoint, you notice that things have changed quite a bit. All right. From the first picture. So what we did was we widened the guard out. Okay, we moved the center up to bracket this 5. All right, we moved him a little wider than the numbers, so we went outside of our own rules. All right, but we put our adjusters on the 30. But this spacing up front with these 5 guys was to protect any trickery, to take care of the wide alignments that Dartmouth does with the 1 through 4. Okay, and also protect ourselves from any middle dribble. That's what it was all about, but also keeping our symmetry. All right, so that we can run our power right or power left. All right, so here we're going power left. Made our late call. Everybody up front in the front line, those 5 guys, the center, guards, and tackles, not allowed to move till the ball's kicked. Okay, our adjuster on the backside is getting a little bit of a head start. The fullback, he doesn't touch the ball. He's not allowed to touch the ball. He can start to move, all right, on the approach a little bit if he wants, all right, as he gets comfortable. Okay, again, I want all 10 hats, eyes to the football. All right, I want to see their stripes to the football. All right. Now, what you notice on the backside is you got a diver here. All right, so what we've changed is, and how we've gotten better is, all right, he's squaring up the 4, but this is a great opportunity if you know a team's doing this for the guard to come off and pick this diver up. Abort the double team on the backside, pick that diver up coming across the middle of the field. Because what you're going to get is here he's on 4, he picks up the diver, and then now the tackle can loop around and help here with the adjuster. So the tackle and the guard should be able to recognize the diver instead of having the tackle chase that diver all the way across. All right, and again, you get good at that. Why? Because you do it full unit all the time. All right, you sprinkle in a backside diver when you know you got to game plan it. All right, and you coach it up. We don't flip our guys right and left. Okay, we don't. We run everybody's on the same return. All right, they do the same position throughout the game. All right, so what do you have here on the front side? All right, on the front side, you have a twist between the 5 and the 4. They're twisting on the front side. You got a backside diver, you got a twister on the front side. All right, again, the adjuster's job is to eliminate first threat down the field. Guard, pick up, all right, with return side leverage. Center, stay low. Okay, the center stays low, and he should also be in position to help with this backside diver here. All right, so we're able to, with the center, pick up 5, the guard and the adjuster pick up 4, and the backside tackle pick up 3. So we're 4 for 3 here is how I look at that picture on the backside. All right, so we have enough hats to pick up whatever look they want to give us. And on the front side between the 5 and the 5 and the 4, all right, we're 3 for 2. All right, with our guard, adjuster, and tackle. So now we have 3 for 2 here. So we're 4 for 3 here. We're 3 for 2 here. I like those numbers all day long. All right, you can do all the twisting in the world you want to do, all the whatever. Doesn't matter. So for us, it's we got numbers. We just need to know how to pick it up. All right, and make sure we're getting a hat on a hat here. So again, what you realize is this guy, all right, doesn't eliminate front side. Okay, we get that guy avoids him. All right, fights to that leverage. He doesn't get any help from the guard. All right, but again, we have 3 hats for 2. Now, on the back end, with the fullback off returner and both our off returners. Now, what you see is 1, 2, and 3 are running clean down the field. We're trying to split 3 and split 2, but our fullback is bearing down on 3, and 3 wants to go wide. So that's when it turns into a kick out for us. We run the track. However he wants to avoid or try to put himself in that position. All right, that's where we're going to take him. All right, we're not going to try to predetermine. So as we attack number 3, he tries to avoid outside now, it turns into a kick out. So this is a great running lane here. When I pause this picture, I think anyone, all right, if you can get this running lane, all right, this picture, this is the picture, you're okay with that, okay? And you want to run through it. So if we do a good job here with our adjuster, all right, if we can eliminate these two with these three, all right, we're on the kicker. All right, again, on the kicker. That's a good look for us. All right, and it's that guy that comes off and makes the play at the 30 that keeps this from being even bigger. All right, you can always tell because this coach is not happy. All right, he's like, what? All right, he's scared to death there. It's a bad picture for them. All right, but the guy makes a great play. All right, which I always feel like you're one block away, you know, but it's how close are you? You know what I mean? Are things completely imploding, right, on your unit, or are you truly one block away? You know, and there, in my opinion, we're one block away from another one-on-one with the kicker, which is what we want. Now, here we go again. Now, this is Harvard. You know, they're running down. They usually have a pretty fast unit. Throughout the course of the game plan, I talk with the adjusters. You guys can switch it up a little bit. So our adjuster on the front side over on the far numbers here, he goes and gets this guy a little bit. So he attacks, changes it up on him. All right. But here the ball's pinned all the way outside the numbers, a yard deep in the end zone. All right. Our front side adjuster is eliminating 4. I like it. Bang. He takes him right there at the 35. Okay, catches him off guard. He's getting return side support. All right, let's get to the tight. All right, eyes to the returner. All right, everyone should be seeing that this ball is being kicked, all right, out to the numbers, outside the numbers. All right, and that's going to help with your angles that you're dropping at, right? Everyone talks about, all right, how do you practice dropping at the right angle or whatever? The angle only matters where the damn ball's kicked, right? So your angle's got to adjust with every ball that's kicked. Doesn't matter, all right? So here you go. We're eliminating 4 early. All right, we're getting an ambush here. All right, we should have a low wall with our guard. Okay, eliminating 4 here, peeling back on 5, coming back on 3. Okay, the 5 does a little dump truck on our center. Okay. That's okay. All right. Figure it out. You know, need a little ass. All right. The ambush block is not always an ambush block. All right. I tell this guy, it's not necessarily an ambush block. It's great leverage. Okay. It's great leverage. But where this guy's running down the field, where this ball's being caught, all right, that's all you need is leverage right there, because that guy shouldn't have a chance to squeeze this return. All right, and he doesn't, and he's the main reason, because this 5 is non-committal over here. Okay, that's the main reason we have a good running lane here between the 3 and the between the 5 and the 3. So here's our defensive tackle again. All right, just running at this guy. That's a big linebacker. He's still trying to take it on. All right, but we have a good relationship, and it turns into a kick out because of where the ball's being caught. All right, it turns into a kick out, and now, bang, we're blocking 1 and 3 with the same guy. And that he's not able to shed the block. All right, he's not able to shed the block and get back in phase to make a play. All right, same thing with the backside 5. He's trying to shed, comes over, arm tackle. All right, and we're hitting it up the sideline. All right, again, out to the 48. I think 48 was our longest return that year. But we did it consistent enough to have, we were like 26 yards, 27 yards of return. Here we go. Don't leave early. See the ball kicked. All right, now we're return right. Good relationship. So here we got a little deep with our fullback. Another reason you want to do the unit, you want to go full unit. because he gets a little deep. This relationship's a little squeezed here. So he recognizes that. When he recognizes that, he gets going a little early to try to recreate that relationship. Before the ball's caught, he starts taking off. All right, running through the smoke. All right, you're not going to have much of a seam a lot of the time, okay? You know, especially when you're running, we run the same return every time. So it's not like they don't know what return we're running. They know it's coming, but it's about running through that seam that gets created. And this is a great example of that. So here's a twist on the front side. You know, it's 4 and 5 getting stacked on top of each other. Boom. All right, so rule for our adjuster here. Eliminate the fastest man. Eliminate the fastest man down the field. That's number 4. Got it. Double team done. Ambush 5. Here he comes. Stays high. We got him. Pin him. On the backside, we do a pretty good job. All right. Of taking care of, you know, we're going 3 for 2 here with 4 and 5. All right, and on the back end, all right, we're running through the smoke. We're smashing, all right, with the fullback. Don't slow down, all right? Number 59 wants to take it. He's going to take it. So we run right through his chin, all right? He does a full pirouette, and he can't get his wits about him in time to make the play. But that's where the back end, that's where the guy with the ball in his hands has to trust the return and follow that big bastard. All right, he's running. He's going to create the running lane. You follow him. You hit it off his ass cheek. All right, you're off on the sideline. This thing's going to bounce to the sideline. Boom. Great aiming point. Nice job with the off returner, leading up on one who's an aggressive safety here. Our fullback even gets involved to pick up opposite color. After he runs through one guy, he picks up another. All right, and then now it's their kicker versus our returner. Now we're on the sideline. So this should be a touchdown by everybody's right here, right? It should be a touchdown. But what happens is so we have a saying on our unit, time equals yards, okay? So if you watch this relationship right here, this backside block, all right, he's in great position. Great position, all right? So time equals yards. The coaching point here is continue to fight upfield, all right, and block as long as you can freaking block, man. Just keep blocking. If he holds this block for a half second longer, this is a touchdown. All right, so watch what happens here. That guy gets off. Just keep fighting, keep fighting, keep fighting. That would be 6 points. That would be 6 points. Instead, it's only a 38-yard return, 39-yard return, okay? So, again, you know, you're always one block away, but really are you? You know, and in that instance, I mean, to me, that's one block away all day, all right? So here, a windy day. Real windy day. I'm sure you guys, depending on where you're at right now, I'm sure you have all kinds of conditions throughout the course of the year as it starts getting into October, November, you know, December. I mean, the wind starts picking up. Another reason to go full unit all the time. Because again, this ball against Yale, if we didn't practice as a full unit, this is a short kick. Why is it a short kick? Because the freaking thing got held up in the wind. All right, so it got held up in the wind, so it's a short kick. So we're trying to, all right, get an early go call, keep a relationship on the back end. But again, this is another reason everyone's eyes got to get to the returner because they see him running up. When they see him running up, we all got to be executing our blocks. Go get your block, okay? Try to keep that relationship right. All right, so we're trying to keep that relationship right, all right, with the front end and the back end, all right, and the guy's got to get going early. Our off returner never makes it over. Because on such a short kick, again, you get a backside folder. All right. And now the other thing that we did, guys, all right, so is I like to run one return. So what we have is a fire call. All right. And I'm sure you guys have a fire call too. But my thought process is everybody, when you get a fire call, shit hits the fan. It just gets shut down. You know, your return sucks. Okay. But for me, it was like, hold on. If we're good at kickoff return, they're going to kick a ball that we're not ready for, or that we're not, that they don't think we're ready for. Okay. So we go in with a game plan. So the game plan, I remember this specifically against Yale, we were going power left here. Okay. But off the foot, he controls the return. So we're power left, and we always have rules. Power left unless. Okay. Or my call. You guys make your river lake out on the field. So it's power right or power left, whatever we're saying the statistics say and what the game plan is, unless. All right. In this game, it was, this is your alignment. We're going to go power left on everything that doesn't make you run over here. If you get run, if the ball off the foot, and he's the center fielder, so he's back there, the ball off the foot, he's got to take off running, and he crossover runs to his right, fire, fire, fire. Fire, fire, fire. What does that do? Well, it flips our return. We go from running power left to power right. Okay? And so that's our other return. But it's symmetrical. So we're double teaming the fours. Again, the guards. So what do the guards got to do on a fire call? All right, so initially we're running power left. But in this picture, he gets running to his right, fire, fire, fire. Okay, so double the force. Get over, double the force. The guard, now instead of having left leverage, he has right side leverage. Now instead of having left leverage, he has right leverage. Okay, now instead of peeling back on 3, he's ambushing 5. Instead of ambushing 5, he's peeling back on 3. Done. That's everybody. All right. Oh, excuse me. One more guy. The center. The center's blocking 5. So he's dropping back, and he's blocking back on 5. So instead of pinning this 5, he's blocking back on that 5. So seeing the returner off the foot, ball off the foot, get your eyes to the returner. Everybody should see the returner crossover run to his right. That triggers fire. Fire, fire. All right. What's wrong here, in my opinion, is this center is not good. This center should see this guy running over here and should change his angle. He never changes his angle. He thinks that he's still running power left. But he's in an absolute panic to try to cut off this 5 here. Instead of just dropping to the returner on a great angle to where he sees the returner going, if his eyes are getting there, and he's getting to a great spot on the field, which should be right over here, to then do what? Block back on 5. The guy who's a technician here, all right, I mean, the absolute technician is this tackle. We're running power left to start this play, okay? He doesn't hit the panic button. All right, initially his job is to peel back on 3, but if he's doing his job properly, he's behind the double team. On power left, he blocks back on 3. On power right, he pins 5. It's not that hard. So in this picture, he sees what's happening with the returner. He knows we're going fire, so he calmly just comes over, gets himself in position, and blocks the 5. Right? The guard does a good job too. He sees it. He flips his leverage to give return side leverage here. All right? The backside guard is in an absolute panic. All right? And that's why we never pick this diver up. Okay? But our returner ends up making a miss. Okay? So now we're up on the kicker again in plus territory. All right. I like that one from the wide, because this is where you see the value of having this guy here. Just watch this guy. He's very comfortable, obviously. All right. Runs these reps. All right. He's trashing this dude. Throwing him out of the bar. Okay. And here we are, plus territory. All right. You like it. Any questions on that stuff? We got questions? All right, cool. All right, so here we go against Princeton. Now, all right, we're going into the game plan. All right, power right or power left, doesn't matter. But what we're going to run here is power left. All right, but Princeton was a big pin the ball to our right. Okay, so we were running power left unless, all right, unless. And so we gave them rules, what the unless would be for the fire call. So we always have a fire call game plan to flip our return. So in this case, this is where they like to hit it. And typically, as you've seen on all our other tapes, we're going here with this return. Now, I teach this as this is our field return. So we're running power left. All right. But typically, as you've seen in the past clips, we run power right into the boundary here. Now we're going to take it out to the field. All right. So we're going to change up our pitch. We're changing up how we deliver our return. All right. They game plan us, but we can change it up on them based off of, again, the statistics say that this is where the ball is going to be caught. I can watch how tight, how much are they squeezing on the backside. I like this greenery. There's a lot of green out there. So let's exploit that now this week. So we catch Princeton off guard. The big thing I would say about if you want to do that and you want to change your return and head out towards the field and you're trying to split 2 and 3, it may turn into more of a kick out block on 3. Okay. Just because of the path of your fullback, because a big piece of this return is you never want to tip your hand. You always want it to look the same. You always want power right to look like power left until the go call. So we want this to look like power right until the go call is made, and then we're going left. Okay? And we do a good job here, all right, of they go avoiding. All right, we take return side leverage here. The guard has good leverage. They avoid here. We pin the 5. And now this is, you see the guard here. The guard, he's staying low. He's actually doing a decent job, and he ends up picking up color here. All right, which that on paper is the fullback's guy. But the fullback gets his eyes around. He sees color right there on a hard avoid. He sees that. He's going to treat that as 3. So he attacks it. All right, pins it. We get a good ambush here where, you got to be careful not to get penalized. All right, going for the kill. But we end up using our front side guard to pick up this guy who is actually the 3. Boom, picks him up, and now we're on the kicker again. All right, not a touchdown, believe it or not. Yeah, it's painful, but it was a good return. Now, so because we run one return, you can get good at the other stuff. You can get good at all the variations of the kickoff. You can get good at all the twists. You can get good at the diving. You can, you do everything as a full unit, and your guys understand in the moment recognition, right? And how to recognize and make and execute their blocks. And it's not one of these clips has been textbook perfect. Not one of them. But there's always a guy free, this and that. They could have done this better. But what you get is you get more cohesiveness out of your guys that are trying to execute the blocks, and it increases your likelihood that you spring one on them. All right, so now we're down fourth quarter, under a minute to go. They just scored a touchdown to go up 21-17. So it's either one or two things is going on here. They're either kicking it out of the end zone or they're going to squib. All right. They don't want us to return it. All right. So they're going to squib it or kick it out of the end zone. So we practice squib. We practice the short kicks on the numbers that are the U calls. We practice the fire. We practice all the twisting and diving. We practice kick placements. Okay. And we build a relationship with one another. That's the biggest thing you should take away from this is we relate with each other based off of the different types of kicks you're going to see. So all the high school coaches on here who face crappy kickers one week and then a really good kicker the next week, well, if you're running the same return, you can get good at the different placements and the different types of depths and place on the field you're going to be fielding the ball. So here we go. We get to practice the squib. We practice it once a week on Thursday because my thing is, you know, I don't want the fullback to touch the ball. I want the deep returners to converge on that ball. I want to field it. I want everybody to see that it's a squib, and I want them to set up their blocks. So we need a return here. So I think we called power left here, okay? We changed our formation based off of what Cornell would do with their unit. They're diving guys around all over the place. So we all see it's a squib off the foot. We see the squib. So a squib is like a short kick, automatically set your blocks up early on the front line. So you see the adjusters on the 30-yard line. They're running in, all right, to attack their guy early because they know right now this ball's not deep. The fullback on the back end, this guy, you recognize he doesn't want anything to do with that football. All right, so we've taught that. You don't touch that ball. On the back end, we're attacking at all three returners. Again, I want the deep returner to field the ball. The only time he's going to field it if it takes a hop to him, all right, and it loses steam and doesn't get all the way back to the deep returner. But everybody's got to converge. That back end triangle got to converge on a squib, like every other kick. All right, see it? All right, and then this turns into more like a punt return where let the block set up on the deep returner, let the block set up, and then look to puncture. All right, so he sets it up. Our off returners get in position here. Everybody else is running power left. And we're on the kicker. And it won us the football game. All right. So, I mean, again, nothing's pretty here as far as how this goes down, but everybody knows what they're trying to do and trying to accomplish on this play based off of the type of kick we have. All right. You see that the guard and the adjuster here, they're all over the place, but they're getting it. They're getting two hats on this guy. Okay. We're getting the fullback running at 3, getting a hat on a hat. Time equals yards. All right. We're blocking back on the backside 5. We're building a low wall with the guard. The other adjuster's coming over, looking to square somebody up. All right. And it's because we're occupying. We end up, and everybody's occupying opposite color. We end up in the end zone. I'll skip through this one. All right, Dartmouth again this year with their same. So the difference between, they run the same kickoff this year as they did the year before, and we were running power left again. So everything's the same. All right, they get the diver running over. All right, so here's our backside guard. He's laying low. He's looking for the diver. All right, so now we got 4 for 3 again here on the backside. So that was our problem last time that we watched the Dartmouth clip. But now the guard is not giving any support to the adjuster. He's looking for this backside safety. Tackle's still coming over, and even our center is waiting. So we built a nice wall here on the backside. They're giving us this. All right, we got plenty of hats, plenty of eyes. All right, we're waiting for people to start getting aggressive, but they don't want to get aggressive. That's fine. All right, we're going to build that wall here. Here on the front side now, we eliminate 4. All right, good job by the adjuster. Bang. Good job by the guard. The tackle on the front side could be a little better. He gives up leverage. All right, it could be a lot better. Gives up leverage there. Stay low, stay low. All right, but now the back end 1, 2, and 3 are all coming down on the same level. All right, and our off returner here attacks 1. All right, but the guys are attacking. All right, and we end up getting, all we get is a little seam. Boom, little seam, and he's up. He's on it. And now it's you know, again, it's a foot race in the plus territory. All right, Yale again. I mean, we haven't changed. Again, we didn't change a thing. We didn't change one return. All right, now we're going power left here. All right, again, on the backside, you see that we're doing a nice job of building a low wall. All right, coming back on 5, looking to square up, peeling back on 3 here. All right, we're doing a good job on the double. Here they go presenting themselves. Now at the last second, all right, our fullback's doing a decent job. All right, he's downhill, attacking that number. That guy decides he's going to flop back to return side, which turns into more of a kick out. But again, because our fullback does a good job, all right, different kid. All right, we've had 3 different fullbacks in this film. All right, so you just got to teach the same thing. Nobody's going to be as pretty as 91. He was an all-star at it, but 38's doing a good job here of trying to run through this guy. It turns into a kick out in the off return, or the returner. All he does is put his foot in the ground and get vertical. And we're on the kicker again here. So we do a good job on the front side, back side, but it looks like we have some twisting going on, all right? Or no, it almost looks like a twist, but we're occupying again. In the 5, even on the ambush block, the 5, this is a corner. He's about 160 pounds. I mean, he's squatty. This guy right here is like a D end. So he's like burying this guy, but he fights. He stays on him like a fly on shit there, you know, just annoying, like a gnat. All right. And he runs the guy past the return. The guy's avoiding. He knows where the return's going, but he won't flush. You know, he's like, he won't get out. He can't get rid of him. So here we go. We're occupying and we're gone. Well, somewhat gone. All right. The kicker makes the play every now and again. So.
Quick question for you.
Yeah.
Just in terms of your communication with the placement, like you talked about power left, unless, or with the squib, you know, if you get a squib as a returner saying up, 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 if it's a situation where you want to switch from power left to power right, you know, is there some type of communication with that? How do you work that?
So we'll go into the game plan with a power right and a power left. Okay. So at any time, you know, I can say, all right, you know, this time we're running power right. Then the next time it's power left. You know, the wind and conditions can determine that sometimes. So we always go in with a power right and power left. We always have that. That's our only returns. But again, charting the kick placements. So we'll enter a week with, all right, I'm aligning you on the goalpost. Or if they put the ball on this hash, we're calling power right. Or they put the ball on this hash, we're running power left. So they go out on the field and they make those calls, okay? Sometimes, you know, before I ever make it. But then at post kick is what you're asking about, how to determine that. So, again, you know, I wanted fire to be friendly. I wanted it to be a friendly thing for us as a return unit. So, So what we'll do is we'll have the game plan saying, all right, I'm aligning you here. We're running power left unless it takes you hard opposite. And by hard opposite, it's off the foot. He sees it off the foot, and it causes him to crossover run opposite of the call, the return. If you don't get a fire call out early, then you're in a lot of shit. Okay? So what you want to do is you want to teach the deep returner fire to be friendly. So don't be afraid to make the call if that's what it is. So off the foot, it takes me, I have power left call. It takes me hard to my right. I'm crossover running. Fire, fire, fire should be coming out of my mouth. Okay? But everybody's eyes should be on the returner. That's like day one. So that's what I'm teaching with no kickoff team. No kickoff team, teach that. Get their eyes to the returner. Have that discipline, because as you see, when you get them in the game, a couple guys are going to crap down their leg and not do it. You know, but you need to discipline them for that. All right, because now what they're going to recognize with the eyes of the returner is the quick crossover run to opposite the call, the return, which should trigger in their mind that that's where they should start working their leverage and the fire call should be coming. So then the guards are now switching how they're going to support the adjuster. The adjuster should see the returner going when the ball's kicked, and they should be running with leverage as well on a right-left string. They shouldn't have to drop at all, the adjusters. They're running right, they're running left based off of the kick placement. Okay, so they're running to get to their 4 to square them up. Now the guard's coming for leverage. Okay, the tackles should see the same thing, and everything, all the leverage, the drop angles should get adjusted based off of the kick placement on the field. Now, as far as the depth of that, again, should be seen by the returner's reaction. So on a short kick, the returner should be running up. All right. If it's a squib, they'll see that. Sometimes, like, we'll teach, like, I'll look at and I'll say, hey, you know, like Penn will do some pooches, right? They'll kick it deep and then they'll pooch. You can tell sometimes on the approach of the kicker when the pooch is coming, or the alignment of the kicker. Sometimes he'll take his steps off the tee and he'll be aligned way wider when he's going to kick it over here. These are all things that we're going to anticipate, but we're studying the kickoff team. We're not studying ourselves. We do what we do. So we're trying to game plan everything based off of what have they shown on film. How can we tip our hand to anticipate the fire? So let's say he steps off and on film it shows, like, when he does his steps like that, or he moves the tee over here, this is when he has been pooching on film. So we have power right call. So we'll even say alert, alert, alert. And we'll all get alerted that right out of the right when we see it, fire, 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 right out of the gate. You know, so if we're all studying the kickoff team and not worried about what we're doing, but worried about what they're doing, you get all 11 guys on the same page. You can get them on the same page and even pre-anticipating a fire call. And that's what we try to do.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you, Coach.
Yeah.